Okay, my name's Erika Icon, and I own the Rub PR, and I'm also a publicist.
Now, I've been waiting to ask you this question for months now, but how did you get into PR? Was there an interest beforehand? Did you just somehow fall into it? How did that start for you?
Why don't I tell you how I got into the adult industry? And then, and then we'll get there. So I've been in for about 16 years, something like that. And I answered an ad on Craigslist to go work for a company that was the Netflix porn at the time. They actually sent out DVD discs, and eventually, I helped them get onto VOD. So they hired me to kind of be an assistant, even though like I'd come from an advertising background and I wasn't really an assistant. And I was kind of running the company. I was buying DVDs. So one of the vendors was Shane's World, and they're like, "Hey, do you want to do PR?" And I'm like, I don't know." So I gave it a try, and then they sold the company. So I was doing it on a freelance basis. Actually, I forgot to mention that while I was working at Wanted List, the Netflix porn. They sold the company, and the guy didn't want PR. And I had a friend that worked at two studios, and the guy owned two studios. She says, "Hey, you want to come over here and do PR?" And I'm like, "Okay." So I went over there, and it was a shit show, to say the least. But it's a good thing it was, right? Because then I started my own business. So the girl that worked at Shane's World was named Megan, and I see her all the time still. She has her own company, and I tell her this is all her fault every time I see her.
I, it's like different. I got to go back to the advertising part of it. What were you doing before all of this, advertising
Oh,
wise?
I had so many jobs, but the last job before this, I was a copywriter and an art director. I worked for three different advertising agencies, and it was just sucking the life out of me. And the last one, we had no copywriter. It was so bad. Now we have Grammarly. We don't really need a human, right? Something that can
Yeah.
go over everything, right? But yeah, no, it was too much. And before that, I was a diamond grader. I had been an executive assistant. I worked retail. I did a million things that just didn't stick. And my dad said to me, my uncle, who's like a multimillionaire, he says, "Your uncle didn't figure out what you wanted to do till he was like 40." And I was like, okay, I have a little more faith. And so that's around the time that I started kind of figuring out what I wanted to do. So I was like, okay, this works. you know.
Yeah. No, did it feel like I mean, I know you were going through those different companies that weren't working to their, utmost efficiency as you're kind of navigating the adult industry, but did you feel like you found a place of belonging in a way?
Yeah, because when you work in the corporate world, people have a lot of judgment. Nobody cares if I have piercings. Nobody cares if I have tattoos. Nobody cares if I have big boobs and porn. They don't care. Like it's just normal. So I do feel kind of like I belong here. I don't know. It is a little bit like high school and a popularity contest at times. But out in the real world, it's a whole different thing. So, you don't it was always the women that were a problem, working in the offices. I don't know. I don't miss it. I do not miss working in corporate world. I like being able to start work at 10 a.m. I am up and working before then, but I like, if someone is a horror show, they're gone. I have a little more control over my destiny now.
Yeah, as you should for the amount of time you put into working for other people. This is your show now. You're doing it.
One would think, but then this morning I get, "I'm so disappointed I didn't get nominated for," I'm not gonna say which award it is, and I'm like, okay, well, it's not based on us submitting people, but okay." It's like, so disappointed.
Well, it just goes to show, like, that client relations are still the same. You're handling the insecurities of, artists no matter what field you're in, right? So you're handling what is it like to navigate that on a daily basis and taking care of clients?
I've been told I'm wrangling cats. That's what I've been told. Please don't say cats. I don't like them. It's interesting because I was on a panel and people laughed at this, but it's true. I'm a mommy, I'm a psychiatrist, I'm a babysitter, and sometimes I'm a publicist. um, I mean, I do work really hard and work a lot of hours, but I inevitably have to deal with people's problems, this and that, emergencies that come up, all these things, which is fine. I'm cool with that because I would say like 98% of our clients we really, really like. We generally don't work with people we don't like, but then sometimes we bring on people and we don't know what's going to happen. And then sometimes we create monsters here at the Rub PR and people start believing it's true. People start believing their PR and then it's just that's the point of no return at that point. It's
Wait,
the truth. I'm sorry. I know I should do stand-up comedy. My director client tells me that all the time.
it's you do obviously not naming names, but sorry, when you say sometimes we create monsters, was that from the jump, or is it 3 months in and suddenly, oh, this person's like complete
It's
aura just
usually
shifted?
longer than 3 months in, but, it's eh, I think people like to hear about themselves. I know they do, right? And I think some people, like, obviously our job is to sell people, which great that I have the advertising background and the retail background, right? Because I sold products, not people, but same idea. I I don't know. I guess I don't know. I guess they just that's what makes them feel better inside. Maybe I'm not quite sure. I don't know what happens, but it does. And like we joke about it all the time. My assistant and my intern and I, we think it's funny. Like it's just. I mean, because you have to laugh because otherwise you'd cry, right? Got to make comedy out of everything. Yes.
Yeah,
But most of the clients are very nice. They want to be helped. They want to do well, and we want them to do well. Other publicists, I'm not going to mention any names, might be out to have sex with their clients and do other things. That's not us. Like we're here to help them succeed. Like we keep it professional. It's I don't know. They kind of have like 24/7 access to me too. I always tell them you can text me 24 hours a day. Do not call me before 10 a.m. I am not a morning person. You could text me, I'm up. I just don't want to talk to you till I've had my coffee. But sometimes they're like, "Can I call you at 8:30 in the morning?" And I'm like, "Mm." Now if it's 11 o'clock at night and I'm still working, sure. you know. I had one, she goes, "What are your office hours?" I go, "What is that?" I'm like, I'm unfamiliar with that. But yeah, I mean, I try to take the weekends off, but
Yeah, even that's a toss up, right?
unfortunately, I have interviews scheduled on the weekends. Things happen. It's usually it's just they have questions and they're texting me. And my assistant said that a lot of the girls I work with guys and companies too. A lot of the girls think that that we should work every day. And I'm like, okay. And I don't go on vacation for more than a couple days because all hell will break loose if I'm gone for more than that. I'll tell them I'm taking 4 days off. Don't text me unless it's an emergency. I'll be checking the phone once a day. And oh my God, to not have the phone, oh, it's great.
It's
I'm
like,
con I'm constantly like this, right?
yeah, not having a phone is like slowly dipping into a hot tub on a cold day. And you're just, oh yeah, this is it. This is great.
Yeah, yeah, it is, and it's like sometimes it's great, but then I start to feel weird that I can't post pictures on Instagram, so I love Instagram. I don't like their policies, but I like posting pictures.
And I mean, just this idea of forming a PR firm, to me, as an actor and a filmmaker, it like goes way above my head. So I do want to see, like, what was it like building this from the ground up for yourself, and what did you go through creating this this empire, so to speak?
I like that. I may have to use that. Although
It's all yours.
I don't want people to think I'm full of myself. Well, I built something out of nothing. There wasn't very many publicists at the time, and there are more now, but legitimate publicists, maybe only one or two more. um, I had a distribution company. I worked with Pulse Distribution and a director. Those were my first clients. So what I did was, I think you saw my bio, I was writing and getting paid for that. So, I wasn't writing for Dark Side and Hustler and ASN magazines at the time, but I was, I had side gigs to kind of help me through money wise. And then the clients just kept doubling and tripling. And, so I think like maybe like a couple years in, it started getting, doing pretty well. Now it does really well, but it took a hot minute, but it's a lot of work. We have a lot of people. I'm sure you saw the list. People think that whole list on my website is all of our clients. And I'm like, no, that's past and current. If I had that many clients, I'd run into traffic. A very big list. And that's not even everybody we've ever worked with. It's just a lot of them, or who we're working with now as well. So
It's very extensive.
yeah, and more, and I put the 3 new ones that are starting next month on there.
Oh my
It is
god.
expensive. Well, I kind of we have a waiting list, so I kind of start them. I don't start with more than a few new ones each month, because we can only take so many people, and people deal with me. They don't deal with my assistant or the intern or our mascot, which is on the floor right here, and hopefully she won't start whining because she likes to do that when I'm on the phone. But yeah, it's very personalized attention. So, I can only take so many. We're almost to capacity. So, people stay with us too. They don't, some people don't, occasionally people just like don't get it. I had this one girl, she didn't like any of the interviews I got her, and she was like here a month, and I was like, okay, now she's with someone paying like twice as much as I charge. I'm like, have fun with that.
Ooh.
you know I mean, like, give it a chance. We always tell people at least try it for 2, 3 months. And I have one girl, she's been with me for 12 years. On Valentine's Day, she told me she loved me. I said, I want a divorce. She knew I was kidding. She knew I was kidding. But, we've had I have some people that have been with me for like 5, 7 or more years as well. So, and some people are newer. Some people leave the industry. Some people just don't want to do the interviews anymore. It just depends. Because
Yeah,
it's a team effort.
it makes sense. Oh, absolutely. And while you were crafting this, when did you, I guess, decide or kind of find that placement on the mountaintop that you said, okay, we are succeeding as business. This is working. Let's go. Like, did you have any hesitations as you were building this to think, oh, maybe I shouldn't do this? Maybe it's not worth it.
Let me tell you about my hell times of year. That's when I question my life choices. So all year round, there's award shows, which is getting out of hand. But in September, we have to submit all the AVN and XBiz awards. So I actually sit my assistant, I go through all the DVDs, all the scenes, make Excel spreadsheets, compare them to the AVN and XBiz nominations. It's a big undertaking because we don't just submit them for like, MILF of the Year or Best New Performer. We submit them for tons of stuff, as much makes sense for scenes and stuff. So some of them have a lot of stuff. Somebody like Lauren would have a lot of stuff. Penny Barber has a lot of stuff. Dante Cole has a lot of stuff. And May Rose has a lot of stuff. Like we have a lot of people that have a lot of stuff, like Brittany Andrews, and then some people don't have as much, but it's still an undertaking to go through this, match up the categories, have them look at it, and then submit it all. So it's always, well, this year AVN moved it up. It's usually both due by September 30th. This year it was due 15th and the 30th, which kind of sucked. But that's a lot. And then AVN and XBiz are in January, and it's a lot. It's a lot taking care of so many people at a trade show. And I send them their schedule every day for interviews, where they're signing, where they're supposed to be, remind them they have to get their award show tickets and stuff. Like it's a lot. And even the ones that are normally calm, during those times they lose their shit. So it's a lot. It's a lot. I have a different assistant that comes in and helps me with that. She does AVN, she doesn't do XBiz, but you know, we're in Vegas for that, and XBiz is here, and I live here in LA, so it's not as bad, you know. But it's a lot. Like we're in Vegas literally almost a week.
Seriously, it's that
Yeah.
long?
Well, it starts on Wednesday and it goes through Saturday, but you have to get there on Tuesday because
Oh,
you have to, you know, check in the hotel and you got to make sure you get your pass early because inevitably they're going to have some sort of problem getting their passes. So I'm going to have to go to where they get their passes and help them or the assistant I have. It's a lot and they don't know where they're going. Like this year was at a different hotel, so it was real bad and a
oof.
real big hotel too. Yeah. So it was, you know, and then the award show, we do a walkthrough the morning of on that Saturday with the PR team for that. And we get there, I give them all the directions. I send them a very detailed text message, what they're supposed to do. Okay. It's not a Scooby Doo mystery, but the hotel decided to change shit up. And they, instead of having them in this big room where there were stanchions and velvet ropes, they had them in the going down the hall of the hotel. So I had one, she was supposed to interview people on the other carpet. There's a media carpet for people that are up for big awards. And she couldn't get in to walk the red carpet, the main red carpet to do it. You know, it was nuts. And then at XBiz, it was raining and cold, and they were stuck outside and yelling at me because, you know, I control the weather. My dog thinks I control the weather. But, you know, I couldn't go outside and get them. I could put them at the front of the line of the red carpet because we have a good relationship with security, so they don't wait in line then. But there was nothing I could do, and they were mad, and I get it, but it's not my fault. You know, you have a publicist, it helps you with some things, but it's not going to give you carte blanche to get out of every single situation, you know. So yeah, I was really questioning my decision after X business. AVN is always usually first. So sometimes it's no, that's actually not true. Sometimes XBiz is first, and I prefer it to be first because XBiz has like a part that's just for the industry. Then they do 2 days of award show. Sorry, 2 days of fan show. Then they have an award show. So there is some downtime, but I have to go if the clients are on panels and go watch them. You know, support. So AVN doesn't have as many panels. I don't think they had any this year, actually. Normally they do, but they're more for the fans.
Mhm.
So, and there are some things at XBiz for the fans. Like I work with Ricky Greenwood. He's a director. He showed his movie Grinders. Well, you know, a very PG version of it. All the sex scenes were cut out, but it did make sense. It did make sense because it was the big story behind it. So it's about skateboarders. Not
Oh,
not
that's
about
cool.
gay hookups. I never mind Grinder. Ooh, no, it's about skateboarding. I told him we should call it Pipeline because then people would know it's a skateboard movie.
Actually, yeah, that's a really great title. I would be confused with Grinders, personally.
I know with Pipeline they might think it's a gay movie, but anyways, yeah. I used to name movies when I worked with the 2 studios. Some of them,
Seriously?
yeah, some of them they did not find humorous. Like I wanted to name this gay movie Black Cock Down, and they're like, "That's offensive," and I'm like, "No, it's not." It was at the time that Black Hawk Down came out, right? And then I named a lesbian movie Frisky Kitties. They like that. That one sold. And then when I was at Wanted List, one of the girls in the office and I came up with a name. We called it Twinkie in the Brain. It was Twinks and Bears. And then they made the guy's balls look like a brain on the cover. It is funny. I miss that. Anyway.
I'm glad there's some actual, like, creative thought put into those titles, because usually it's somebody on a TV show making crap up, right? Like, it's would never think.
I don't know. Like, you know, I think the AVN has a most creative title. So people like Ricky, I know Ricky didn't win that. He won most wild, it's like not wildest, but most outlandish scene or something like that. He won that one. But the title one, I've had a few clients that were in it, but it's people try to be clever, you know, sometimes, but most of the time it's like, you know, blah blah number 167 because the first 166 weren't enough, right? You know, or blah, blah, number 12, I'm like, okay.
Like
Like,
who is following the story so closely they can recant, 132 or 79?
there's no story, it's just the same series. Like homegrown video, they just name everything like homegrown video number, whatever. They must be up to like 400 at this point because they've been around for a long time. But it's about amateur swingers, so it's all kind of the same kind of content
Yeah.
filmed by the amateur swingers. So, well, they're not all swingers, but they're amateurs. So it's and then series also get nominated for things. But yeah, I think it gets boring and people want something different. Like this FOSES we have going on now that's still here. Um, there must be a lot of stepdads and stepdaughters that want to hook up. I don't know,
Oh,
or people that
yeah.
think about it. The whole thing is just weird. It's been around for a while. It's not going anywhere. And
No, when, new stand-up comics somehow revise that same joke over and over for the, decades onwards, yeah, I think it's probably here to stay.
oh no, God, comedians. So Oliver Wong, he's Bloomer Yang as a director. He does comedy. And I went to see him do comedy one night. Oh my God, this guy did this joke. He was Jewish too, about how his parents sent him to math camp, concentration camp. And I'm like, the joke is so old. Like, it's not even funny. Like, be creative.
That I would've walked out, like, "Alright,
I
man."
couldn't. I had to wait for Oliver to come on, and then I saw him again at the Comedy Store, and I hate that place now. But he's really good. He's really, really. He's very funny. He says he's from Taiwan, so he's got a little accent. He tells people where he's from, and then he says, I know that I look like I'm taking the SAT, but I'm actually a porn director and a comedian. He looks very young. You should follow him on Instagram. He likes to be almost naked. Anyways, he has his own OnlyFans. He's very funny. He has a new podcast called Sex and Boba with Teresa Lowe. She's a comedian and she writes for Hustler.
Oh my
So
god.
yeah,
Good for him.
he's highly entertaining. Well, he was doing another one and then he stopped doing it, but I think it's under something else. I can't remember the name of the previous one, but I think on iTunes and or Apple Podcasts and Spotify, it's under a different name. I can't remember what's in the press release because that was like 2 weeks ago. Can't remember what I did yesterday, right? But yeah, comedians. A lot of porn people get into comedy. A lot.
Really?
Yeah. And then there was this guy, he used to do like a comedy night called The Naughty Show. And it would be comedians and like porn stars playing games and stuff. But some of them told jokes. Not very well, but
I was
so
about to
some
say.
some of them are good, but a lot of them aren't. People want to have another creative outlet besides porn, that they can do. Some of them become mainstream actors, like Anna Fox. She does a lot of mainstream acting, but she's actually good at it. She was a fashion model, a high fashion model before she got into the industry. Some people, go do makeup, a lot of different things, because I don't know, kind of mix it up a tad, right?
Yeah, I mean, do you also, you know, assist in the publicity for, those other,
Yeah,
paths for your clients as well?
yeah. Like Goddess Lilith has a death metal band, not my kind of music, but so she did a tour and she has appearances. We promote that. What else do we have going on? Jupiter Jetson sings too, but she's not been doing much with it. Um, Marika has a YouTube podcast that's kind of popular with her doll Busan. Busan is a stuffed pig. He's about this big. And I know who the voice is, but I'm not supposed to say. But yes, Busan has a voice. It's very funny. You should go check it out on YouTube.
I definitely will.
Like there's one, I can't stop laughing about this. It's so wrong. So they're at Costco and Marika tells Busan he should get this hair cutting thing. And he's like, I don't have any hair. And she's like, but you have like fuzz, like fuzz. And he's like, real short fuzzy. You're fuzzy. He goes, why would I want to cut that off? It's hilarious. Like, some of them are funnier than others, but there's one day where they went to the dildo factory.
Oh
They're
my
going
god.
on adventures. Most of them are PG, but it is YouTube.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You it's very very hard to get banned from YouTube nowadays depending on what you're doing.
Oh, no, it's not. Like, it's
No?
a lot. Yeah, with the people that do podcasts, like, I have a girl, she does a podcast, she just started it, Brianna Diamond, but I've had other people have problems. We work a lot with the Happy Hour podcast. They usually have one of our clients on a month. I'm gonna be part of their Rumble in June, which I was last year. Like, you get to play, like, this drinking game and Cards Against Humanity. I almost won, I was close. Damn it. I didn't win the wrestling belt, but maybe this year. Anyways, I'm gonna be on my game. I'm gonna be on my game. The last one I flubbed a little bit. I was like, oh man, not as funny as the last one I answered. But they've gotten in trouble. You know, they got in trouble with Facebook. So they don't do it on Facebook Live anymore. They do it on Instagram. But because we work in porn, everybody is, trying to shut us down, Instagram, Facebook,
Yeah. Oh yeah,
YouTube,
I've heard a lot about especially Instagram, just like
TikTok.
constant bannings. Yeah.
Well, I got in trouble the other day. I stay out of trouble for the most part, and every time they flag one of mine, I usually refute it and get it back. And so I had one of Zarella Sky's, and she was laying down, and she had a bra and panties on, sort of lacy and white, and she had her hands slightly down her underwear, but there was nothing going on. And they took it down, and I refuted it, and they said, "No, it's against our guidelines." And so now I'm waiting for the stupid board to look it over. They have like some sort of
Mm.
board that looks stuff over. Last time they didn't. And then last time they said it was against our terms of service, but they never even took it down. I don't know. I try to stay out of trouble. If the girls have big
Yeah.
butts, I don't show the whole butt. Like, I have it. God forbid we should get any joy. And they said people that don't work in porn that are showing their nipples full on and shit.
Yeah.
Um,
I
I'm talking to you, Kim Kardashian. I'm talking to you.
I usually don't show my elbows on Instagram just out of fear for banning for some reason. I don't know, something weird.
Elbows?
Yeah. I've been told my elbows might look like a nipple from time to time, so
Oh, I want to see this after we're done.
yeah, I'm not proud of it. I hope it's changed. That was a couple of years back, and I'm like, Jesus, okay, I shouldn't show my elbows.
I think
Uh,
my elbows are just dry sometimes. Well, okay. Yeah,
well,
mine are fine.
yeah, see, your elbows look normal. It's been an insecurity I've had for years. I'm not even kidding.
Maybe
Uh,
you're just using it in your head, but
Probably. It's like very specialized body dysmorphia a la the Electronon process.
aw. Yeah, we're
Uh,
gonna get you confidence in your elbows.
oh yeah, we'll get it there. I'm good pretty much everywhere else, for the most part, as any other normal human being can. But I mean, actually, this is gonna be really fun. I want to see if you have a party story you could share with us. Now, it doesn't have to be something that happened at a party, but something that's happened during your career that stands out so immensely you'd easily recant it amongst friends at a party. It could be humorous, tragic. They're mostly humorous. Sometimes they're a little horrific in the funniest of ways, but just something that really stands out if you have an
I got
idea.
one, I got one.
Oh, sweet.
So my friend Misha Montana, it was the first time I'd ever met her actually. So her boyfriend at the time invited me to this party they were having at the studio. So one of my girls, she's not really in the industry anymore. Um, she's really sweet, but she starts texting me, "I'm leaving." I go, "I'm not even there yet. Why are you leaving?" "There's snakes here and I don't like snakes." And I'm like, "Come on." So uh, Dante Cole at the time, that was the first time I actually met him in real life. Sometimes I don't meet them in real life right away, but he lives here too. So we go, and there's these fucking snakes with these tiny little heads. I'm like, oh, I get it now, but I'm not leaving because of this thing. And there was a dog there too. I thought that was going to go very much awry, but people were wrapping them around their necks. Like, I have pictures of this, and I'm like, ugh, poor little Aria. She had to leave. I don't know why that came to me first. I don't go to a lot of the parties. there's too much work, and when I'm not working, I'd rather not be working because if I go to the party, somehow I'm gonna be working. Somebody's gonna wanna start with me, somebody's gonna talk about something, you know? I don't know. I'm not much of a party animal, but that party was fun.
It had snakes in it. It sounds fun.
Okay, that part of it wasn't fun, but it was fun. And then this one guy was doing tattoos on people too, because they had like a little tattoo studio in there, but I didn't get in there quick enough, so none for me.
Oh.
Free tattoos, like little tiny tattoo. So, oh, you have to pick it. Yeah, I was like, I want a tattoo. God damn it! Why didn't I look into this earlier? I think he only did a couple. So, but they would actually tattoo in the movies they were doing. So they had a little tattoo studio in there, but they don't have that space anymore. It's a really nice space.
Oh
It was
wow.
like totally tucked away, like on a main street, in the valley. Not in Chatsworth, but in the valley. It's not all in Chatsworth now.
You have created your own thriving business, and I wanted to see if you had any advice to those who are also looking to create a business for themselves as well. Something you've held on to that maybe you could pass on to them.
You should check out my blog on Medium if you want to be a publicist, and also if you want to be a client. I don't know. It's usually inspired by something that will happen. So I'm like, okay, I need to write a blog about this. Um, I guess be patient because it's not going to happen right away. Don't steal people's clients because karma's a bitch. I've had a couple publicists, actually just one that's like that. Actually, no, two. Um, realize it's a lot of work. I can tell you through August to the end of January, I was working 13-hour days in between the award nominations and, actually being at AVN and XBiz. Um, there's a lot of stuff, like a lot of interviews to set up and stuff. You know, be patient. Try and find good help. It's very hard to find a good assistant. Um, I've been through more than a few, and that's not my fault. I'm a nice boss because I used to be an assistant, so I know how to treat people. Nice boss. Uh, let's see. Really research what you're going to get yourself into, which is what I tell people that want to get into porn in general. um, I guess that's about it. I mean, it's just persistence and, doing a good job, keeping track of everything. I mean, I have 50,000 notepads over here you can't see and a whiteboard and little stickies everywhere you can't see. Uh, but, being organized is very important.
No, I think those all I can't even sit I can't even say hit the nail on the head because of what we just referenced. So those are all they're
The
all
nail
very
that Nancy Grace has not chewed.
in addition to that,
Sorry, I
so I
digress.
if I'll go down this improv rabbit hole with you, so I gotta skate right fucking past it.
It has to be comedy.
Um, do you have anything that I can give a shout out to or promote within the episode?
Well, I just sent you some notes. I am, sometimes I like to win awards too. So last year I won the ASN PR, best PR firm. I'd like to win it again this year. So the nominations are in right now. So it's the first round of them. So I'm in the top 10. Some of these people that are in there aren't even PR firms. You can vote once a day. Also, I'd like to get into the Hall of Fame of the Alt Porn Awards. That's my favorite award show. Um, I love it because I don't have to work very much. I get to have a good time, and they have amazing swag bags, lashy doodle lashes in them, and toys and magazines. And unfortunately, open bar, which is never a good idea with porn girls. But I'd like to be in their Hall of Fame, and I'd like to be in the AVN Hall of Fame. You heard that, AVN? I've already asked you 3 times, but I'm asking again.
This is the year. This is it's
Hopefully,
gonna
this is the year.
crescendo into 2024.
This is the year. Yeah, this is the year the impossible becomes possible. I do have 2 awards, but I would like more. I don't mean to sound like the girls, but I would like more. I am a Leo. I would like more. And I'm going to be actually in charge of the ASN Awards this year, in charge of the red carpet and the media and all that stuff, because for some reason I can't say no to Michael. I said I would never do another award show again, and look, here I am. But I'm not in charge of the whole thing, so that's good.
Oh, there we go.
Yes. In charge of the Trans Awards one year. It was a debacle. But now they have a place they always do it at. Everything's cool. I'm not in charge of it anymore. Life is good. They just had that. I was just there. Always check out it, follow us on social media. About to hit 80,000 on Twitter. I hit 75,000 on Instagram over the weekend. We always put up all the press releases, all the promotion for the clients, all the things you can vote for them for. Medium page, and we have a very diverse group of clients, so they're interesting to learn about. So I don't know what else to say. There's no joking there. Serious business.
No, you said all of the important, pertinent things that everyone needs to go to, especially voting for you.
Voting for me. Well, I didn't put up. It's on my timeline. You can find it. I don't have it up on Instagram, but it's up on Twitter. We schedule tweets for everyone, so
sweet.
There's a couple things going on right now. I think there's 3 award shows. So the voting for the Alt Porn Awards, for the pre-nominations ends on Friday, and the ASN ends on April 15th for the first round. But I'm pretty sure I'll make it to the second round. I got people voting for me that tell me they're voting for me. I'm like, thank you. I'm like, wow, thank you. Out of your busy day, I appreciate it.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I vote for myself, which makes me feel ridiculous, but I do it.
Hey, why not? If it's not, if it doesn't restrict you from doing it.
No, it doesn't. You can do it once a day, every 24 hours. Have a little timer go off on your phone. But yeah, we put a lot of people up for a lot of things, a lot of award shows going on. There's 2 in Bucharest. There's the XBiz Miami, which I'll actually be at. I'm not really trying to get award nominations for that because that's more about the performers. It's for the industry. It's a cool event. So I've never been, but I hear. I try to stay at home in the office. I try to work.
I was about to say you'll find out.
It's in South Beach, so I've never been there. So, and I swore I'd never go back to Florida, but here I am.
It's only temporary.
Not because of the serial killers. The last trip was bad. And I won an award, and it was still very bad. But yeah, Florida, here we come. In Vegas in August, here we come.
You delivered that like an NPR host.
I know. Well, I'm not that much of a socialist, but sure, yeah. Did I say that out loud? Try to not talk politics. But yes, NPR. I used to listen to that. No, it's all murder, murder, murder. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry.
No, this show constantly goes off the rails when I least expect it, and I absolutely love it. Honestly, I wasn't sure how the episode would go because I've never spoken to a publicist before, but now I know you're a boatload of fun. And this has just been an absolute joy. I finally get to chat with you after corresponding for what, like 9 months.
More of our people will be on your show soon.
Yeah, I just talked to B. She was hilarious and awesome. You were also hilarious and awesome. It's just
I love B. She's one of my good children. That's what I call it. Good children. She's one of my good children.
You hear that, guys? She's calling you out if you're not one of the good children. So
I didn't say who's bad and good. I just said that B is good.
She's secretly holding up a list.
You know if you're on the bad list, deep down in your little black heart, But you can always move from the bad list to the good list.
Yeah, exactly. You can always
Santa Claus. Yes, like Santa Claus.
Exactly. Erica, I had a blast talking with you. Like,
Likewise.
at some point soon, we'll probably talk in person. If you ever need an, on location correspondent for PR interviews, I'm the guy. I got you. Um,
How people hit me up to do interviews for their thing. I don't schedule anything for my stuff. But yes, but if you'd like to go to a convention, there's lots of exoticas to go to, and
I think I'd be too shy going inside. I would just be outside in the parking lot, just like, hey, you're going in? Are you the cool? Do you want to say something really quick?
yeah, you'd be great. Like, you'd be great. Honestly, I'm sure you'd enjoy it. I've been to two of them. They had one here once. It was an absolute failure, sadly.
Oh no.
And yeah, in LA. Because, because porn stars grow on trees here, I guess. I don't know. Um, and there was another convention prior to it, but yeah. And then I went to the one in New Jersey. Ugh, New Jersey's a pit. I'm sorry.
I don't think
But
anyone's gonna.
Lauren Phillips comes from there, so some good things come out of there. She's one of my good children too.
Okay, Lauren was great to chat with. She was awesome. Oh, yeah, I'm sure we'll have more of your client list on the show. It's always fun talking with everybody and
Guys.
seeing who wrangles all of them. Yeah, I
Only I
uh,
really had a rope, right?
on that note, I'm gonna wrap up the recording here.
All
That
right,
that
thank
is no,
you.
because this fits in perfectly. Every single episode, I like to do an awkward goodbye. So I'll give you a quiet 3, 2, 1 countdown, and when I point to you, give me your best verbal awkward goodbye. You think you can do that?
Yeah, the intro was easier. All right, I will try.
It's all right. You got this. Here we go. In.
This is Erika Icon from the Rub PR, and I'm telling you, pay for your porn. You wouldn't want to go to work and not get paid. Pay the porn stars for their porn.